it doesn't matter if you're like, no, I think I just want a lumpectomy, or I think I just want to do this one side, or I think I want to do this. When you make the decision to be a survivor, you do what it takes to get to the other side. I think the only time I cried was when I first found out that I had to have surgery. When we first got the results, it was such a shock that I was going to have surgery. I think that was probably the biggest time I had where I was just completely freaked out about what was going to happen. My grandmother passed away before my sister was born, who's older than I am. Not a lot of history do we know about her other than she had a bilateral mastectomy and was basically just sick and then died. And then my mom detected a lump at age 42 and had a unilateral mastectomy. And so at the time, I guess I was 13, and we didn't really know anything about it. Like, they didn't talk about it like our parents. So we just knew she was going to the hospital to have some surgery. And we thought, what does that mean? And so it was kind of unfortunate that my mom and dad didn't choose to explain it to us more at that age, because we didn't know what to expect. She ended up being healthy for many, many years, and then they detected in her liver a tumor, and that tumor grew and shrunk and grew and shrunk basically for 13 years. She was healthy, sick, healthy, sick, healthy, sick for all those years. And she was a fighter basically, and didn't really say a whole lot about it, but I cared for her most, my dad and myself, and I took care of her and took her to her appointments and back and forth, and saw everything that went on. So when it came to me getting that first mammogram, it wasn't like a big deal. I just knew, okay, I'm supposed to go. I'm supposed to get this mammogram. I'm 30. That's what they told me to do. But then, when it came back that there was actually something on the mammogram, I just remember driving home just like totally freaked out. I'm like, well, what does that mean? What do I do now? Who do I talk to? Where do I go? Both myself and my husband are very logical thinkers, and to us it was just a no-brainer. You just have a bilateral mastectomy and then you're done. Of course, after going through such a process, the last thing you want to do is look at yourself in the mirror and think, look at me. As a constant reminder, I had breast cancer. So we chose to do the implants. Overall, am happy with the way everything turned out in the long run. Of course, when you're in the thick of it at the time, it's very nerve-wracking. But coming out on the other end and feeling good about the way that you look, just adds confidence and makes you feel like, you are a survivor and you're not scarred for life because you had breast cancer. My mom passed away 9 weeks before my first daughter was born. So I'm like, I'm not going to be that. I'm going to live, and I'm going to see my girls get married. I'm going to see them have kids. I'm going to be here for that. So to me, whatever we had to do to make that happen was what we were going to do. Cancer sucks. I lived with it. I watched my parents live with it. I watched my dad go through it with my mom. And the only thing I think that you can focus on is being a survivor.